You ever wake up one morning, look out across the water you've called home half your life, and realize somebody's trying to turn your private island into a damn hotel? Yeah, that happened. Picture this: mist still curling off the cove, the air dead quiet, just how my wife Eleanor used to like it, and then a pack of bulldozers roaring toward the shore, led by a woman in business heels waving some flimsy document like she owns the place. That was Mara Kent, the new HOA president, self-crowned queen of clipboards, here to improve the community by steamrolling the only sanctuary I had left. For months I let them build. I watched from my porch as they poured concrete raised walls, even live streamed their progress, like I was too old and weak to stop them. The thing is, what nobody knew, I was letting them finish their multi-million-dollar project on purpose, all because of a secret my grandfather left me, tucked in a dusty old safe under a pile of forgotten memories. You ever see someone's face just crumble in a courtroom? Because that's a sight worth holding on to. Let me back up a sec. My island, just an acre and a half, was never supposed to be anything but a haven for me and my wife. She called it our sanctuary. Every gnarled pine root, every rock, the swing she hung for our granddaughter Lucy, they're pieces of her. For 6 years since she's been gone, I kept watch. Time moved with the tides and the slow crawl of sunlight over the water. And then one morning the peace shatters. Not with thunder or drama. No, it's the high-pitched whine of a drone hovering camera pointed right at me. Next comes a powerboat cutting through the cove, throwing a wake that slaps the pilings my grandfather drove into the bedrock back in the 50s. Mara Kent herself steps out, business suit, clipboard, all sharp lines and cold smiles. Lovely day for an inspection, she says, as if I'm just another box on her to-do list. I tell her plain as day I'm not aware of any inspection, Miss Kent. This is private property. She grins, holds up some piece of paper that looked like it was printed 5 minutes ago, says the HOA has an official easement, says they have rights to all literal property, which is a fancy way of trying to claim my shoreline. But see, I've got a deed line that extends 200 feet past low tide, courtesy of a U.S. government survey from 1898. She's bluffing. Instead of arguing, I just pull out my phone and start recording her boat at my dock, her fake notice, her heels sinking into Eleanor's rose garden. Evidence every bit of it. 40 years as a Coast Guard engineer will teach you you don't waste breath on a storm. You measure it, you document it, and you prepare. Mara struts around like she's filming a reality show, declaring my dad's old tool shed unauthorized, scribbling on her clipboard while the drone circles overhead. She finally leaves with a threat. There'll be a full report, a list of fines, all in the name of building a better community. But even as she goes, I see what's coming. A pair of barges out past the cove, each hauling a bulldozer and an excavator, steel arms raised against the sunrise. She didn't come to give me a fine, she came to scout out the invasion. The fines start the next morning. Certified mail. White envelope. Heavy HOA letterhead. $200 for my unauthorized auxiliary structure. And the meter runs every day. The shed my father and I built when I was 16, the one that holds 3 decades of memories, it's now public enemy number 1. Every day another envelope. $200, $400, $600. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. I call my old Coast Guard buddy Sam. He's a lawyer now. He goes through the stack, brow furrowed, and says, "This is aggressive, Jack, even for an HOA." I tell him about the phony easement and the barges, and he disappears into the bylaws. 2 days later, he calls voice grim. Page 147, Section 8C. They buried an annexation clause deep in landscaping rules. If you're in violation, they can absorb your land. They're using your shed as the hook to seize your entire island. That's when I start to notice my neighbors pulling away good folks like George. now looking haunted, telling me Mara might make his fence problem go away if he stays quiet. Just pay the fine, Jack. Don't make waves. She's got them scared, turning neighbor against neighbor, making me the villain for not rolling over. Still, I do things by the book. I appeal, submit my building permit from 1983, photos the works. The board hears me out for maybe 3 minutes, then Mara denies my appeal with that razor-thin smile. Their laughter follows me down the hallway. They think they've won. That night, alone in my workshop, surrounded by violation notices, I stare at my grandfather's safe, a massive iron relic I haven't opened in 20 years. He made me memorize the combination when I was 12. Some things are about holding the line he used to say. So I open it, and there it is, the original deed from 1898, with the governor's signature and an embossed seal. Proof they can't touch me. Proof they can't. But before I get my day in court, they turn my world into a construction site. Bulldozers tear up Eleanor's rose garden pile drivers, rattle the cottage, the wildlife flees, and Mara live streams her progress from the safety of her boat shoes, chirping about community investment. I turn my anger into action. I log every trespass, every violation, water samples, seismograph readings, even the glare from their nightlights. I build my case brick by brick. The stress grinds me down, especially when my granddaughter Lucy visits, pleading with me to sell and come live with her family. It's just land, she says, eyes full of worry. And for a moment I almost give in. But selling means Mara wins. It means Eleanor's sanctuary becomes a footnote in a timeshare brochure. I can't do it. One morning the foreman is rushing to sink a concrete piling. I spot a spiderweb crack and try to warn them. Nobody listens. When the piling shatters, I grab a ratchet strap, hook it to a tree, and save a young worker from being crushed. The work stops for a safety review. Mara's response: double the fines retroactive to the day I caused the delay. They even put a lien on my house. Now it's war. Now. I walk into the Veterans Legal Services Clinic and meet Dana Lee, a young attorney with the eyes of a born problem solver. She listens, nods, then says, "We'll start with the environmental violations." For the first time in months, I hear we instead of you. I enlist my neighbors Walt, an ex-SEAL medic, and Reggie, a comm specialist. They set up hidden cameras, log every trespass, and create a bulletproof record. Meanwhile, Mara keeps building, and the news paints me as a selfish hermit fighting progress. The hotel's nearly done. Mara throws a topping-out party, all champagne and string quartet on the roof deck. I walk up with a small gift-wrapped box. She tears it open in front of the cameras, inside a framed photo of the deed's embossed seal dated 1898. She laughs, waving it off as a joke. But that same afternoon, Dana files a quiet title lawsuit, a legal depth charge. We get an injunction. The county freezes the occupancy permit. Suddenly, Mara's investors panic, contractors go unpaid, and even the workers start nodding at me instead of glaring. Mara retaliates with a smear campaign, fake emails, police reports, wild accusations. None of it sticks. The final act, she plans a grand ribbon cutting for the locked hotel, local politicians in tow. As she gives her speech, deputies arrive serving subpoenas to every board member on live TV. Mara's mask cracks. Court day comes. The judge is no nonsense. The HOA's lawyer tries to drown us in paperwork. Dana counters with 3 simple steps: the original deed, 124 years of property tax records, and GPS proof that the HOA never had a claim. Then a video diving drones revealing iron survey markers set in granite in 1898. Hank, the contractor, testifies Mara lied to him. The judge doesn't hesitate. Immediate ejectment order, hotel to be demolished. Treble damages awarded to me, $3.2 million in total. The demolition barges come back not to build but to tear down Mara's vanity project, leaving only scarred earth. The HOA board resigns, the community votes to dissolve the association, and neighbors become neighbors again. I put half the money in a trust for Lucy and my grandkids. The other half goes to a wildlife conservancy. We restore the island, plant a memorial garden for Eleanor, and slowly the wildlife returns. Last weekend, I threw an open picnic. Folks showed up with coolers, potato salad, and apologies. Lucy was there smiling for the first time in months. That night, I cast my line off the dock, the sun melting into the cove. I thought about Eleanor and whispered, "We kept it safe." Yeah, we did. So tell me, what would you have done? When is standing your ground just stubbornness? And when is it justice? Let me know down in the comments, and if you believe no homeowner should ever get bulldozed by a power-hungry HOA, hit that subscribe button. And hey, where are you watching from?